Australia has a rich and complex history, spanning over 65,000 years of indigenous culture and thousands of years of migration and colonization. Here is a brief overview of some key events and periods in Australia's history. Pre-European settlement, Australia was first settled by Indigenous Australians over 65,000 years ago. These diverse cultures and communities had a rich oral history and strong connections to the land, with a deep understanding of ecology and the natural environment. They lived in various regions across the continent, with distinct languages, traditions, and cultural practices. European colonization. In 1770, Captain James Cook claimed the east coast of Australia for Britain, setting off a period of colonization that lasted for over a century. The British established a penal colony in New South Wales in 1788, and over time, expanded their settlements across the continent. This colonization had a devastating impact on indigenous communities, as land was taken, resources were depleted, and people were killed or displaced. The British also introduced new plants, animals, and diseases to the continent, forever changing its ecology and biodiversity. Gold Rush era. In the mid-19th century, gold was discovered in several regions across Australia, leading to a massive influx of migrants from around the world. This period of prosperity and growth saw the emergence of new cities, industries, and social movements, including the women's suffrage movement and the development of trade unions. Federation and World War I. In 1901, the 6 colonies of Australia united to form the Commonwealth of Australia, a federal system of government. The new nation played a significant role in World War I, sending troops to fight alongside Britain and other allies. The war had a significant impact on Australia, both economically and socially, and helped to shape its national identity. World War II and post-war era. During World War II, Australia again joined the fight alongside its allies, and its cities and towns were subject to bombing raids and other attacks. The war led to significant social and economic changes in Australia, including the growth of the manufacturing sector and increased government involvement in the economy. After the war, Australia experienced a period of growth and prosperity, with the development of new industries and social welfare programs. Recent history. In the latter half of the 20th century, Australia saw significant social and political changes, including the end of the White Australia policy and the introduction of multiculturalism. In recent decades, Australia has also faced significant challenges related to climate change, social inequality, and Indigenous reconciliation. Today, Australia is a vibrant and diverse nation, with a complex history and ongoing debates about its identity and future. Indigenous rights. Since the arrival of European settlers, Indigenous Australians have faced numerous challenges, including dispossession, forced assimilation, and discrimination. In recent decades, there has been a growing recognition of the ongoing impact of these injustices and a push for reconciliation and the recognition of Indigenous rights. In 2008, the Australian government formally apologised to the stolen generations, Indigenous children who were taken from their families and placed in institutions or with non-Indigenous families. Indigenous Australians continue to experience significant social, economic, and health disparities, and there is ongoing debate about how to address these issues. Immigration and multiculturalism. Australia has a rich history of immigration, with people from all over the world coming to the country in search of a better life. In the decades following World War II, Australia welcomed large numbers of immigrants from Europe, and in more recent years, there has been significant immigration from Asia and other parts of the world. This diversity has led to the development of a vibrant multicultural society, but it has also led to tensions and debates about issues such as immigration policy, social integration, and cultural identity. Environmental issues. Australia is home to a unique array of flora and fauna, much of which is found nowhere else in the world. However, the country also faces significant environmental challenges, including climate change, deforestation, and species extinction. Climate change is a particularly pressing issue, with Australia being one of the countries most vulnerable to its impacts. The country has also experienced devastating wildfires in recent years, which have had a significant impact on communities and the environment. Political system. Australia has a parliamentary system of government, with a bicameral parliament consisting of the House of Representatives and the Senate. The government is led by the Prime Minister, who is appointed by the Governor-General, a representative of the British monarch. Australia is a constitutional monarchy, with the Queen of Australia serving as the country's head of state. The country has a long tradition of democracy and freedom of speech, but there have been ongoing debates about issues such as the role of the media, the balance of power between the government and the judiciary, and the rights of minority groups.